And you're listening to Blueshirt Underground Show, the #1 Rangers podcast. Make sure you tune in and find out all the latest news. Let's go Rangers.
Blueshirt Underground, motherfucker!
Can't be as a Ranger fan. Can't be as a Ranger fan.
This is an unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there.
This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media.
Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar. Ranger fans, report to the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers hockey.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Blueshirt Underground Show. Today is Thursday. It is February 9th. My name is Jim. As always, I am joined by the Swami, Eddie Geik. We're going to get to his Swaminess in just a second. And Eddie, let the record show that as of February 9th, the Rangers have officially anteed up for the playoffs.
Big time move. This is sending a clear message. The Rangers see the window. They want to go through the window, not out the window, but they want their serious players coming in this offseason. This is what they needed. This is what they needed to do. You can get into the specifics of the whole thing, Jim, but like you said, the Rangers put their chips in and they're going for it.
Yes, they have, by acquiring Vladmir Tarasenko, the Rangers have announced that the playoff push begins now. Here we go.
Yes.
5 years and 1 day after the letter.
Right.
Which was 5 years ago
where we wanted
yesterday.
to be. This is
And
what
the
you got to
Rangers-
do. You gotta take chances. You gotta bring guys in, big guns at the deal. Say whatever you want about Chris Drury so far. And listen, he's a hard guy to like personally, but he walks the walk and talks the talk at the deadline. I mean, this is, you got to get a big time player in here, whether he's going to be injury prone, all the negative Nellies are out there. His stats aren't that great. Listen, the Rangers needed someone. They couldn't be throwing Jimmy Vesey and Barclay Goodrow out there on the first two lines. Really good Ranger players this year, but they don't belong there.
Right.
You can't be a serious cup contender with those guys. Now they get moved back more appropriately.
They get put back into their roles where they should be.
Right. So, I mean, this is I don't mind him swinging for the fences. Vladmir Tarasenko, I mean, apparently he's won a Stanley Cup. Doesn't that carry some weight around this organization and then the fans? I don't know. I think it's a good trade. And I don't really care. People say, well, is it a fair trade? I don't care. Does it help the Rangers?
Fair. Yeah. As Tony Soprano once said, who got's fair?
Well,
Who
that's
cares?
how I feel.
Who cares?
Well, you get these guys on the internets. They want to say, well, I hear people with the Rangers fleeced St. Louis, and that's not really actually what happened. I I don't care if they fleeced him. I don't care if they get burned on the trade. I don't care if Hunter Skinner wins 6 Norris trophies. I don't care if Sammy Blais becomes the next Brad Marchand. I don't care. I care about right now. And right now, I think this is what you got to do. You got to show the fan base you're in it to win it.
Right. And I always go back to what Emil Francis told us this. We had him on this show, or our former incarnation of this show, the night the Rangers traded for Olli Jokinen, which obviously didn't necessarily work out. But Emil Francis told Eddie and I, the way you look at a trade is who got the best player. And whoever got the best player wins the trade. Right? You remember Emil telling us that?
Right. Yes, I do remember that.
You heard it right here. Well, on Blog Talk Radio. But you heard it back then. Whoever gets the best player wins the trade. The Rangers got the best player. They gave up Sammy Blais. They gave up a first-round pick. You'd have to be a first-day Ranger fan. Not if you didn't think the Rangers weren't going to get rid of at least one of those first-round draft picks.
Yes,
they only got an extra first-round draft pick in that trade so that they could trade it for something else. You knew they weren't going to. This team is not built. They're no longer in 5 years down the road where we got to stockpile first-round picks. This team is now about now, like it or not. So here we go.
Yeah, I mean, this is it.
They give up Hunter Skinner, a 4th-round pick, who was never going to play for this team. Never. Who's he going to replace?
I've seen Hunter Skinner. Has Hunter Skinner ever been in a conversation? Or no?
Skinner at the rookie games. Nice player, but he was never getting out of Hartford. How many guys are ahead of him in Hartford?
Yes.
Forget the Rangers.
I agree.
Sammy Blais, 1st-round pick. And the Rangers get Vladmir Tarasenko.
50%. At 50% retained, right?
The Blues will retain 50% of his salary. All Vladimir Tarasenko's done is score 262 goals, 291 assists, 553 points. He's a playoff wonderkin. He's won a cup. The Rangers send Sammy Blais back to St. Louis, back to the St. Louis Blaze, as they will now be called again. Hunter Skinner, as Eddie mentioned, a conditional 2023 first-round pick and a conditional 2024 4th-round pick. Rangers win the deal. I don't know how you don't like this deal. The Rangers are also getting, I forgot to mention, Niko, I hope I say his name right, Mikkola.
Ricola.
Who is a mammoth defenseman. Now, I'll be honest with you. I had no idea who the guy was until he was traded.
Yeah,
I did a little reading up on him. I read a Blues blog that did a breakdown of him because he was a guy they expected to be moved at the trade deadline. So they kind of weighed like a pros and cons thing about him. He's a big guy. He's a 6th or 7th defenseman that can play your second penalty kill. Left-handed. Not a guy to get worked up about either way. He's just, I don't know, maybe just a left-handed Ben Harper. Right? Ben Harper, right, is right side, right?
Yes. No. Yes.
No, I'm sorry. Ben Harper is left-handed too. I apologize.
Yes. No. Here is the thing. And I did see there was some rumblings amongst my apparently Ben Harper who has played decently. Would you say he's played pretty good this year? A lot of people worried that this new fresh and fruity.
Okay.
He's been okay. And I think he's been a pretty good influence on Schneider as far as being stay at home and
yes.
Although I think Braden Schneider, and I don't want to digress too much, but I felt like the last couple of games,
Rock?
So this is my feeling on the whole thing. A lot of Ranger fans were afraid that the 6'4" Ricola is going to come in and supplant Ben Harper. And they're worried about that. I don't know when Ben Harper became such a near and dear friend to the New York Rangers that he was irreplaceable. But he's been solid. And I think Gallant is going to take a look at this guy and assess. Now, I went to some of the St. Louis message boards, and there was, he's a piece of garbage. He's a dumpster fire. And
the Darth Ranger is here. Sorry to interrupt.
Darth Ranger, yes, Darth Ranger. He was the one who actually. Darth Ranger is the one who actually was worried about the supplantation of Ben Harper. I don't see it happening. It can't hurt to have depth on defense,
right?
So.
And if there's one thing we've learned, and it might only be one thing we've learned. But over the years, the Rangers have rotated in a lot of these 6th, 7th defensemen, and a lot of them come in, they play well at first, and then they hit a wall. And Ben Harper's been okay most of the time. I don't think you can really complain about him. Had a bit of a rough game. Maybe it was the Calgary game, but it's okay. Just another body. And Mikkola is a free agent at the end of the season. He's an unrestricted free agent, if I read that right. So I don't see this guy becoming part of our core.
Yeah,
it's just another. It's a big body. We'll take it.
Yeah, he's a big body, and if he works out, he works out. If he doesn't, then he doesn't. I saw they waived Libor Hayek,
and he puts the puck in the net a little bit. He's got 20 points.
He does. He's got that many points.
I'm sorry. That's his career numbers. I'm sorry. No, he's got 3. He's got 3 assists, but he did have 3 goals and 10 assists in 54 games last year. He's a +2. Doesn't take a lot of penalties.
I don't like him.
Averages about 16 and a half minutes a night for the Blues. And he has 96 hits in 50 games. We'll take it.
I mean,
it's another body.
I mean, I think that the most shocking thing is how early this happened. This is 3 weeks, from the deadline? And I'm excited that they got it right away.
Right. This is good. I mean, I think this is better, right? This guy's got an extra 4 weeks over a trade deadline acquisition to get settled in, life in New York, playing at the world's quietest arena, the whole, Sam and Joe, the whole bit. He's got time to settle in before, some of these guys, you get a guy at the trade deadline, 4 weeks later, the playoffs are here, and then everything is magnified. This gives him a little time. I like it,
and I give Drury credit, but I read that the GM of St. Louis didn't want to hold on to him too long because he was afraid he would get hurt and then he would get bupkis for him. And that's why he pulled the trigger. And he's got the same situation, I think, with Ryan O'Reilly over there in St. Louis. So,
he killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator.
Wow.
It's funny. Eddie and I were just talking about that episode right before we went on the air. So that's funny. Yeah. John Martino giving us a little scouting report on Mikkola. He's a big shot blocker, a big hitter, and he plays a lot shorthanded.
Wow. All right. Well, again, you like to know
his house look like shit, though.
What?
Brett Anderson. His house looked like shit. That's the next line in that episode of The Sopranos. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. His house looked like shit.
Well,
anyway.
I think you've noticed that my haberdashery here. I am wearing my Swami hat. Why do you think I'm wearing my Swami? Why is that?
Why is that?
Why don't you play my Swami music first? I need to be warmed up. Do you got my Swami music queued up?
Of course.
Oh yeah. All right, okay. Now, why do I have my Swami hat?
You know, we never played this past like the first minute. I didn't realize it gets techno here.
Yeah, this is that Bollywood stuff. Thank God I don't have to get out of my seat. Then to be a real.
Go find this on Blue Shirts Breakaway. I guarantee you they aren't doing this
Yeah,
shit.
they're
Is this on the
playing that.
Paulie D show?
Holy D's eating peanuts and yawning.
We need to... Where's the snake coming out of the basket?
Well, it's not the reason I'm wearing this Swami hat is let's go to the videotape.
Here it is. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get in the Wayback Machine to January 17th right here on this program. Listen to Mr. Geik here.
We have better backgrounds. We have everything's better. I was like, how did they land this Mike Rupp, man? I said, maybe we should take a crack at him. When I say we, I mean Jim, because I don't do jack shit. I just show up. Anyway, he said the Rangers, what they should shoot for as the team that is consistent right now is they've got to get a second line right wing. Kravtsov or whoever they're throwing in there just ain't going to do it. And he said, and I agree with him now, that that Vladmir Tarasenko will be available at the deadline. Now, he's just coming back from injury. But I didn't realize how big this guy is. He's 6'1", 230. That's a big play. I mean, that's and he said he'll go to the areas. Now, I'm guilty of thinking every Russian is some skinny, skilled guy. Well, yeah, you can play. You play with 7 games, 4 more games with the Devils. I mean, who cares? Anyway, so yes, it's true. Euro trash. There are a lot of Canadians in this game, and we, especially me. I sound like a. I don't know if it just comes out when I'm animated. When I'm more animated, it comes out. Anywho. So I'm thinking, it makes a lot of sense because then now you got the second line. You got Panarin, Tarasenko. Tell me what you guys think about this. I mean, as a rental. Now, St. Louis might be in the hunt, might not be in the hunt. They might not be trading. I don't know as far as when the deadline comes. But that's good enough. I don't want to get, again, I don't want to get too celebratory about this one. Yeah, I know Mike Rupp said it first.
Right here.
But I said it second.
Told you right here.
And broadcasted it to you people. Ha ha ha! Look at me. I was
Cutting
right.
and strutting, baby.
That's right. I was right. I was right. This is what everybody wants to do on Twitter and everything. That I was right. I was right. This is better than my I am rich and you are poor thing I did when I had the seats. I was right, baby. I was right.
Let it be known that, because you've got your finger on the pulse of the league, you brought this information to the underground before anybody else was talking about it. And you started the conversation about Vladmir Tarasenko. As far as I'm concerned, Chris Drury was watching this show that night, and that was when it started. He called St. Louis the next day.
Exactly.
And it all began.
This whole underground, including you guys, we set this wheel in motion, and there was no stopping.
Because Gordon Geico over here said greed is good.
Greed is
Get
good.
us more.
More Russians.
More everything.
More everything.
More forwards, more money, more everything.
Oh boy.
We're rich, they're poor.
Well, even a blind squirrel finds nuts, but I do like the whole me ego, all ego Eddie Geik showing up once in a while. But we got Tarasenko. I don't care if it's equitable. And listen, this guy had to waive his no trade clause. He had a lockdown no trade clause. I think there were 3 teams he was interested in being traded to. One was the Rangers, and
Of course.
he wants to be here.
Who doesn't want to come play under the Fish banner, the Billy Joel banner?
I mean, think about the Stanley Cups that are. I mean, this is the
long tradition of winning.
Long tradition of winning. I mean, come on. I think it's good for him because I think he needs a reboot, so to speak, to maybe refresh his play. I mean,
Right.
he's not lighting a lamp this year like previous seasons, but and you talk to Blues fans and you see what they said. He looks a little bit disinterested out there. But listen, when your team sucks, it's easy to look bad. I mean,
Right.
and
now we've got plenty of Russians to keep him happy.
Oh, we got more than enough Russians. Well, we maybe less one Russian as it continues to get close to the.
He's going to be hanging out in Brighton Beach. He's going to be at the tea room, the bathhouse, the whole bit.
Eating the borscht. I love
Right.
that borscht too, right? The Russians.
Yes.
So, and also a lot of people are calling this is the makeup for the Dylan McElrath draft.
Well, I don't remember. I think it was that show right after we started talking about Tarasenko, who was drafted after Dylan McElrath. I was at that draft, and Jess Rubenstein, who I think most of you know by now, was sitting 2 rows in front of me to the left, and he turned around and said to me, right before the Rangers picked, they better be looking at Tarasenko here. And I said, okay, I hope you're right.
Well, I remember.
I wasn't right, but he was right about Tarasenko being a player.
Well,
so now, 12 years later, Jess
quarterbacking
Rubenstein is right.
Well, yes. I mean, but Monday morning quarterbacking, as you know, I was at that draft party that the Rangers hosted, which is on one of the Ranger Crisis shows. And I was getting a lot of conflicting. Everybody, first of all, I think there was
I think we have a Blues fan here.
Oh, good. Well,
the Rags, but
yeah. Well, you know what? Whatever. But I think Blues fans are really appreciative of what Tarasenko did for them, and that's good. I mean, good on them. Right. But the thing is
hey,
that
look, when you win a cup, you walk forever. We know that better than anybody.
Yeah, forget it. If he wins a cup with the Rangers, he's got free lunch for a lifetime. I mean, he's got to go to the Garden. They'll let him in. I mean, we've seen bums get treated like royalty from that 94 team. So the scope is this. I was at that draft party, and nobody was talking about Tarasenko. There was I remembered that it was, well, is he going to come over? Is he not going to come over? It wasn't like a lockdown pick. I remember hearing Rangers got to get Derek Forbert. They need an offensive defenseman. They need a defenseman. Then we also heard Cam Fowler was another big name we heard. So I think you're rewriting history if you think that the Rangers, there were plenty of teams who passed on Tarasenko. It wasn't just the Rangers. So,
I just thought it was interesting that sitting there at that time, that was the guy that Jess Rubenstein specifically mentioned that the Rangers should be looking at. And, now here we are all these years later, and he's finally a Ranger.
Now, I mean, and I think it's a boon for the Rangers to get this guy early. I really think 3 weeks before the deadline, that's a good move. So I mean, and now I think again, as one of the chatters mentioned, you've got Goudreau and Vesey can be pushed down the lineup where they're supposed to be.
Right.
You've got the kid line, the young buck line. You know, I was looking at Filipino. He's on this kid line. His first season with the Rangers was 2017-18.
Yeah.
Now, okay, granted, he only played 9 games, but that was Vigneault time. Think about how, you know, Vigneault seems like 20 years ago now.
Right, right.
in Ranger lore. So they look solid. They look good. I mean, you know, there's nothing bad you could say about him. I mean, Hedel is just, man, he is proving me wrong every goal after goal. And I'm so glad the Swami, even when he's wrong, is happy that Filipino is proving him wrong. I was calling him, I've seen enough.
Right.
Philip Brittle. I used to yell, put Hedel out there and crucial moments, and all my criticisms after that playoff. I remember after the playoffs last year, that's when I said he's off the hook. I bowed down to you, Philip.
Right.
So now he's gotten good enough just so we can't sign him.
Costa Zibanejad's going to center Vladmir Tarasenko, right? Who else would it be?
That's our thing. It said, is it going to be Panarin and Tarasenko with Zibanejad?
I would think so. Who else is going to center them?
Darth wants me to get a Kako. Yeah, Kako was a little bit invisible last time, but that game was garbage last night.
Yes, it was.
It was one of the worst games I ever seen. Nobody was getting shots on goal. There was no hitting. It was the antithesis of the Calgary game. I mean, it was a bore fest. I mean, I was bored. And,
Vancouver's a bad team, and the Rangers let them hang around far too long in that game.
Well, now
the
Rangers.
But at least they won.
Right. They got the 2 points. Again,
Right.
They can't win by 2 goals or more. You know, it's always 1 goal. It's always like the third period. Not another overtime. Yeah, Kako was okay. I mean, he missed that one-timer. That's what I really noticed him. He got a really great pass. I'm not going to get on these guys. Right now, that third line is cooking. I don't care who's hot and who's not. Lafreniere scored again. He's got a little bit of a goal streak going on.
Ranger first-round picks. Ranger first-round picks last night were 7 points, 4 goals, 3 assists.
Right.
Or no, 3 goals, 4 assists. Not too shabby.
All right. So the other line is going to be what? Right. It's going to be Kreider,
Trocheck,
Vesey.
Or does Kravtsov get another chance?
I think you're going to see more Kravtsov. I know a lot of people are down on the guy. And listen, I don't think he's played well this year. I really don't.
Does Tarasenko maybe help Kravtsov a little bit?
I don't
maybe
think that translates.
You don't think so?
Maybe. I mean, you might be right. But I think that at least.
I mean, look at all the good Patrick Nemeth did for Capo Caco.
Yeah. I mean, for, Niels Lundqvist. And Capo Caco.
Or Niels Lundqvist, yeah.
Yeah, Niels Lundqvist. Well, here's the thing. If the ejection of the French-Canadian Sammy Blais, who I know the Ranger fans, there's some of you, Mario, I'm looking at you, who really like Sammy Blais' game, and God bless him. God bless him. But now we know he's going to be pushed, They may have to decide a different option on the 4th line now. Maybe Kravtsov gets some time. Maybe not to develop him, which, come on, let's face it, they've given up on that. But maybe he scores some goals, gets some trade value. Maybe Sammy Blais going down to Hartford, getting a couple goals, showed St. Louis that maybe the Rangers are mismanaging him, and that's why he has no goals in 2 seasons or whatever it is. So maybe Kravtsov gets some playing time to be traded. Right now, he's got 0 trade value. 0.
What about Kravtsov on the 3rd line with Trocheck and Kreider and
you move the kids up.
Well, I think that's their second. I think that's their second line. I don't care what anybody says. I think that's their second line. I think it's been their best line for the last 10 games or however long they've been together. But then what about a fourth line of Vesey, Goodrow, and Julien Gauthier?
I hate Julien Gauthier. I know. We don't have many options out there. I don't know. But
he's got 6 goals. I mean, 35 games.
I want a gritty, heavy forechecking line.
He's a big dude with speed. I don't.
He's a big goof. All right, I'm just saying. Okay, maybe. But here's the thing:
the 35 game evals are in.
I've seen him 3 years. The guy's a bum.
His 8 minutes
by Carolina.
His 8 minutes of ice time. You're convinced, huh?
Oh, come on.
That's all he gets is 8 minutes of ice time.
I seen enough.
I'm just saying.
Well, I said I saw enough with Filipino, so maybe he'll come out of his cocoon.
A couple of people agree with me. Darth Ranger said, okay, I don't know if that's in response to me. I don't know what
games you guys are watching.
I think you can. I think you can afford to maybe tinker a little bit with the fourth line and see what happens. We got 10 weeks.
That's
we got 31 games left of the season.
I'll agree with Joe on that one. He has showed more in his limited ice time than Kravtsov has. Okay, now. But I want to ask you about this whole second line with the kids, the young bucks, the three amigos, whatever they're calling them this week. Do you think this is kind of the horse before the cart before the horse kind of question? Are they having so much success because they're playing against the other team's third line? Now, if we move them up to the second line, will they be as effective? What do you guys think?
Haven't they been the second line?
I don't know. I mean, he mainly goes with them in the third period when they're hot. He abuses. He's always big on the hot hand there, Uncle Festa. He likes to, So Brian Atar thinks they are the second line. All right. Well, what does the time on ice say?
Filipinos averaging 14 and a half minutes a game.
What's Chris Kreider? I mean, he plays the power play and
he penalty kills. So it's a hard comparison.
A good comparison. How about
Kreider's 19 minutes? And plus Panarin, he's first line penalty power play, which gets a minimum a minute and a half of the power play.
Yeah,
that's not even a joke.
I'm agreeing. I'm
a minute and a half.
It's true.
Panarin's averaging 20 minutes.
All right.
Trocheck, same thing. He's playing first line on the power play, and I think he's killing penalties, isn't he?
I might be one bugaboo about that player.
He's also got 20 minutes of ice time.
One bugaboo about Trocheck: the stupid penalties got to stop.
Yeah, it's one. He's good for one a game.
One a game, and you can't take penalties in the playoffs, Joe.
Kakko is almost 16 minutes a game, and that's because he was on the first line for a while. Alexei Lafreniere is also 15 minutes a game.
All right, so let's make him the second line. That's your second line.
Trocheck, Kreider, and Vesey. It's not bad third line.
No, that's not a bad third line. Yes, I agree with you 100%.
Not bad.
Vesey's playing really well. I mean,
Vesey's got some moves too.
He does.
I don't remember when he's. I hate the term because I think they overuse it in space. But when he's in space, he's really got some moves. He can. And I don't remember this from his first stint with the Rangers, but.
Brian raises a great point, but
very true, Brian.
We just can't go back to that. I'm not gonna. I mean, I don't.
It is what it is. We can't change the past.
Yeah, I mean,
the Blues can. They got Sammy Blay back, but we can't.
Yes, And God bless Sammy Blay. I hope he recovers from. He's a free agent at the end of the year. He'll wind up with some team.
Right.
But
Salute. We wish you nothing but I wish you $1 million.
Speaking of saluting people, I couldn't believe last night I'm watching that Vancouver game and Philip Di Giuseppe is on that team. You're Italian. You're your Itai friend there. I said, if this guy scores, I'm gonna lose it.
Would it have really surprised you if he scored a goal last night?
Well, every other joker, Connor Garland and I don't know, some of the dope scored, but Dunkowitz, something, some guy. So I think in my opinion, this was. I'm not going to say it's a steal. I'm not judging from a Ranger fan perspective. This is what you want. You need. They filled the need.
We won the deal. We won the day.
Yeah, I'm not looking to trade down 3 years from now. I could give a shit. The Rangers will probably be a mess again in 3 years.
Right. There might be another letter by then.
Yeah. They'll be.
All right. You want to talk to some people? We'll get some.
Yeah, let's talk to some people. Let's see what the.
Let's talk to Mike Halleck. We haven't talked to Mike in a while. Mike, let me ask you a quick question before we start. Are you on a mobile?
Yeah.
Okay, good. You're our first guest to call in from a mobile since we moved over to Restream. So
he's
everybody else has been
live
on a computer
from the FedEx break room, Jim.
Yes, looks good. Looks good.
Yeah,
nice.
Wow,
very nice.
FedEx living large.
Yeah, I got
Good.
the
I like it.
ESPN game on.
All right. Feed looks good. What's going on, Mike? How do you like the trade?
Love it. I love it, love it, love it. They had to make a move like this to get somebody to put the puck in the net, because without that, you need goal scoring, especially in the playoffs. But one thing I do think it helps is that it takes pressure off some of these guys. It takes pressure off takes pressure off Lafreniere. And I agree with you guys. They should put the kids up in the second line. And you can just move them around. Whoever's playing hot, put them in that second line spot, move them around. You got depth now.
I agree with you.
I think Mike makes a good point about taking the pressure off.
Definitely. I mean, definitely.
I think Lafreniere has been pressuring too much. He's got 2 goals in 2 games, a little point scoring streak here. He's, as they say, squeezing the stick too hard. And now nobody will talk about him for a while. Now I get to talk about Tarasenko.
Right. All the focus will be on him.
Yeah.
Right. God help him if he doesn't score 5 goals in the first 3 games.
Oh, wow.
It was a bust. What are we doing?
Joe, what are we gonna do now?
Fleury sucks.
Well, I was joking on Sean McCaff's thread he had it on Facebook about how we're gonna hear the eulogy for Sammy Blay by Sam. Oh, a terrific Ranger. We wish him well. He was good in the locker room, Sam.
So I said this before. Do we get duct tape and just put Tarasenko and ink and just put it on top of the jerseys in the gift shop at the Garden?
I was trying to think
Similar to
if
the
the
All-Star
Rangers.
game.
I was trying to think if the Rangers had ever made a deal before where they traded a guy who wore a certain number, and then the guy they traded for a guy who wore the same number, like a big name trade like this. And I guess, does Messier count because Graves was wearing 11? I mean, does that count?
Kissio was wearing 11 at that time.
Yeah, but Graves, when Messier came over, Graves was wearing 11, and then Graves
Kissio
switched to 9. Kissio was gone by then.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah, I can't remember shit from last week, so my memory's very shot these days.
So anyway, yeah, there's somebody sitting in a back room at the Garden right now at one of those stitch removers, taking off Sammy Blay's name off a bunch of jerseys.
Or maybe it's a lady like the All-Star game with that hot press thing going.
Yeah, there you go. In the sweatshop. Yeah, Mike Lakem, 22 for 22 Boyle. Dan Boyle, one of the all-time Ranger greats.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
Captain Happy, I think the original Captain Happy.
Oh, he was a miserable son of a bitch.
And I think Kravtsov is done with this team. I do think so. It's a shame to say.
You think he's done?
I
don't mind if he's done, but play him so people get interested and the value goes up. That's all my thing.
Showcase him.
Yeah, showcase him. But I don't think. I think he's on his way out in a trade. For who? I don't know.
Right.
I'm glad.
I don't know what to get for him.
By the way, as of right now, I wanted to mention this before. As of right now, the Rangers have $94,000 in cap space.
Oh, I saw that.
The Rangers literally couldn't afford a house in a bad neighborhood right now.
Or a house in North Jersey where I'm at.
Right. That's true.
So they have
Steven
$94,000 in cap space.
He says Derek Armstrong had 4 different jersey numbers as a Ranger in only 7 games played. I think that I was trying to put out of my mind that he was an ex-Islander, that I didn't even really care. Yeah, that Islander stink all over. But that is an interesting stat. Now I want to talk about something that drives me nuts. Every time there's a trade that we heard there's a trade going down, people start flipping out on social media about the kids. It better not be one of the kids. Oh, if it's the kids. I don't even know who the kids are. They're not trading to Filipino at the deadline. They're not trading Lafreniere in this kind of deal. No. What are the kids? Are the kids like the 8th D prospect or something? I don't understand. You got to stop being protective of every prospect, okay? They don't hit most of the time. I mean, if you would have now, I saw Hunter Skinner down in Hartford. I don't even call that guy a prospect. All right, it doesn't look good for him. All right, so but you gotta give something to get something. And in this matter, I felt the Rangers did the right deal, and it works.
And they still have chips too.
Right. You got your Zach Jones, you got your Matt Robertson, you got your, they got some defense, some young.
There's some Paisans down there too in Hartford.
Who?
Aren't there some Paisans down in Hartford?
No, some ties down there. I don't know.
Bobby Trevino.
Oh,
Italian Pinto. The Italian Pinto.
Yeah. Italian.
Be careful, my wife's Italian.
Yeah, hey, listen, I'm half Italian, the good half.
Oh, he's way too short to be a stallion, so he's the Italian Pinto.
The Pinto. I get it now. So I thought it was overall good deal. I mean,
it's a great
the Rangers are in that they gotta win. They got this, and I think also this kind of answers the whole Bo Horvat thing. I know the Rangers don't look at the Islanders and say we got to keep up with the Islanders. But
you see,
the Islanders made a good deal in getting Horvat. Now nobody's going to be talking about that now. It's the Rangers got Tarasenko.
Back to irrelevancy. They were relevant for 2 days with that trade and that ridiculous contract that they gave him. That even the guy that gave him to him said it's too many years and too much money.
Couldn't happen to a better team.
That's right. Wiped off the front pages.
Right.
You guys got to stop with this Grachev shit. How long ago was this? Come on,
You're never
going
to live Grachev down. The Russian rifle.
Come on, it was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago. The guy's a grandfather now. I mean, I got to hear about Grachev. I liked him. Sorry. Did you like the guy that turned out to be a bust? I mean, most Rangers turn out to be a bust. It's not like we develop any forwards. I was looking at me and my friends were looking at what have we ever developed forward-wise? And I'm looking back, and it's like nothing. In the last 50 years, it's like nothing. I saw Zuccarello played 73 games in the minors, but he was like 24 when he got there, something like that. It wasn't like we've ever developed anybody. Granado.
Grachev, in case you're wondering, he's playing for the Vladivostok Admiral of the KHL, and he has 3 goals and 6 assists in 57 games.
Oh, God.
It's not good.
Anyway, I don't want to turn.
It's not
this
good,
into
Bob. Not good.
Kreider, I don't think even played a game in the minors.
I think you're right, Eddie.
He got sent down by Torts, I remember, or something, but he didn't play much at all. If anything, he came from the World Juniors right to the Rangers.
Didn't he come straight from college?
College, yeah. Then he played with Boston, and they got eliminated in the NCAAs, and then he came right and signed right with the team and right in the playoff hunt.
I'm looking at it. He played
48 games with the Connecticut Whale in
and then
2012-13.
and then the 6 with the Wolfpack.
Right.
That really isn't development. And he and you know
Whale.
what? The
Connecticut Whale. Who gives a fuck? Remember that? Remember that clip? That's an oldie.
Well, he also the year before he was with the Whale. That's the 11-12 season is when he made his playoff debut. Remember, he was he scored some clutch goals.
Yes, straight from Boston College to the Rangers in the playoffs.
Said, yeah,
and then started the following season in Connecticut with the Whale.
Yeah. So, but it's not about complaints. It's about rejoicing tonight. And I think it's a big, much needed trade, and we'll see what happens. You know?
Do you guys think you're going to make another move?
Oh, I think there's going to be.
Probably.
I mean, I don't know where I heard it or where it came from, but that Tyler Mott, I would like that move. If they could trade Kravtsov, even to get Tyler Mott, then you got a good fourth line.
And maybe they still go after Jeannot, the guy from Nashville.
Oh, yeah.
That's been
rumored.
rumored.
That would be a boon. So far, Chris Drury, you got to give him his props. Trade deadline. You know, he's doing the right thing. I would like to see Tyler Mott. That was it Taylor or Tyler Jeannot? I'm not sure what it's for. Tanner, I think actually it is. He would be a great addition, but at least this puts to rest the Patrick Kane bullshit. I never wanted this guy. I don't know why Ranger fans were obsessed with him.
Shiny toy.
And I think his hip is pretty bad off.
Sounds like it. I think they, according to what I read from Arthur Staple, the Rangers did their due diligence on Kane and didn't like what they were hearing about his hip.
Right.
So.
Right. And then Timo Meier is now off the radar, I would think.
Let's hope the Devils don't get him.
Well, the Devils were dealt a big blow. Jack
Hughes, what
Hughes,
happened with Jack Hughes?
He's got an upper body injury, and he's a week to week. And this
hurt his vagina.
I like Jack. You can't help who he's on. He's a great player. He's a great player. You can't,
You got a bunch of guys who are Devils fans, so I give it to them every so often.
Oh yeah, definitely. You got to razz them. But that's gonna hurt them. Because they really depend on his goal scoring. And the Rangers are behind the Devils. So this is good news for Ranger fans.
It's all good news.
Yes. Now, week to week doesn't sound good, Sam. Doesn't sound good.
All right.
All
right, Mike.
All right, Mike. Take care, man.
Break is almost over anyway, guys.
All right. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good, guys. Take care.
Bye.
Later.
There you go. Hey!
Very nice. Come on.
Wait. Look how fast we transitioned from one guest to the other. There's no, just quick. I love this. I love this platform.
Yes. And we're on Twitch, which is Costa's favorite.
And we're on Twitch. Yeah. Costa was watching us.
Very nice. Come on.
Right now, no one is watching us on Twitch, but we are there.
Let the fan base grow a little bit.
I'm not worried about it. I don't care if anybody.
No
You
complaints.
never know who'll find us there. So
You ain't get no complaints from me for the trade. None. I'm happy.
What do you think
you're
about?
happy.
Yes, sir.
He's happy. He's happy.
Have we ever heard him say that before?
Yeah, he says he's happy.
All right.
I want to know about his thoughts on Jacob Trouba now.
Hey, man. Like I said, I'll eat a little bit of
he does.
a little bit of crow, a little bit.
I mean, did you go nuts when he knocked freaking Cadre out of his skates? I mean, that was like, I
want to see this. I want to see more of this.
Yeah.
I want to see more of this.
But if he does it too much, you know he's going to get called for an illegal.
Of course,
somewhere down
of course.
the line.
And if he does it to the wrong player, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
So now I know that Tarasenko hasn't been the player he has been the last couple years. Can we just get rid of the notion that he may resign with the Rangers right away? The Rangers cannot fit.
No.
They don't have the cap room. So I think
You brought this guy in because he's won. He gives the same reason Goodrow's here, because they've won. They're good players. They're not bums like Blay. I hate to say it. I mean, we got kind of a raw deal with this guy.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he got hurt. What are you gonna do? And that whole, I think that whole knee is gone. The whole knee got fucking destroyed.
Well, he's averaging 3 hits a game. I mean, that part of the game disappeared and hasn't disappeared. You got to contribute offensively here and there.
Honestly, if he was like for maybe the first month of the season he didn't play, I wouldn't care. I think we rushed this guy in too soon, honestly, because the whole knee was destroyed. The ACL, the MCL was just destroyed.
Yeah, that was a vicious injury. I mean, you could hear him screaming as he went down.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
This guy's
hard to watch.
Shot. Like he was fucking shot.
Well, St. Louis can afford to bring him along slowly. We can't.
Yeah,
sorry.
We got to win now.
Yeah.
So,
Drury, realities we have to face here.
Yeah.
So, now that the Rangers have
Tarasenko, my thing is, I hope he's not. I hope the guy's not done.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
Well, we don't want another.
That's a big injury to come back from.
Who, Sammy Blais?
Yeah.
I could care less about Sammy Blais, Costa. He's not on the Rangers.
I know.
You're being too human for me today. I need you to be the pit bull that you are towards other humans. But as far as Tarasenko goes, I mean, do the Rangers really need to make any more moves? I mean, get a fourth liner here and there, maybe.
If we can get that Tanner Janot guy, I'll be happy.
Yeah,
and that's it. If everyone's favorite Tyler Mott comes,
well, I would say it depends on what their plans are for Kravtsov and Gauthier. He's still on the roster, right?
I think Kravtsov is on the outs. Honestly,
the coach doesn't like him.
Yeah, I don't know what but you said it years ago, Eddie. I mean, Drury had it in for this guy.
Well, that's the rumor. Yeah, allegedly.
I mean, Gauthier. I mean, both those guys are RFAs with arbitration rights. If Kravtsov is not dealt either trade deadline or even at the draft, I think they're gonna let him go.
Okay. But
Gauthier, I think they're gonna try to fit him in somehow. They're going to try.
There's some comments.
I know. I'm laughing at the comments.
Yeah. Krasnov plays like sugar-free pudding. I think that's just one of those Russian tropes that everybody he's Russian.
Give Rodney a chance.
Yeah, really. Let him play.
Give Rodney a chance.
Him. I mean, is he as manly as Mika Zibanejad? I mean, no, not granted. Mika puts up points, so you don't want that stuff from him. But whatever. I'm so sick and tired of sticking up.
These are all the same things people said about Philip Hedl 2 years ago.
Yeah. So it's the same thing.
I'll leave some pro about that one too. I kept saying sell high, sell high, sell high. And then he got hurt. And I'm like, oh God, this guy got hurt.
Right, exactly.
What are we gonna do now? Oh jeez. But I think I mean, I'll eat another slice of humble pie on Cheadle. This guy is,
he's blossoming.
Now can he? Now the question is, can he be the permanent 2C going forward?
Well, he showed great playoff ability last year. We got to give him props there. What's his contract situation, Costa?
RFA without arbitration.
Oh, okay. So that means
I'm thinking maybe if now we can give him the bridge as or we can
Chase
try
bridge.
What?
The Chase bridge. Sorry, go ahead.
We could try to bridge him, or like I said, I think 5, maybe 5.25, 5.5, long term. I'll be happy. I'll be happy with that. Don't hear no complaints from me.
For who? For Hedl?
Yeah, 5.25, 5.5.
He's going up a $500,000 every night.
Well, that's
a $12 million player. He's going to be living in Panarin's neighborhood pretty soon. He'll be buying a house next to Artemi.
Yes. Well, we'll see what happens. I can't worry about that now.
Costa, we will see you 4 weeks from Saturday, my friend.
Yes, we will.
All right. We'll talk to you soon.
Until next time.
Bye.
Bye.
Cutter is all... Oh, there he is, Stephen Vogel. How are you, my friend?
What's up, Steve?
Traveler.
I was gonna go to bed, but then Chris Drury decided to do something today. So,
so what's going on?
Talking about Tarasenko. So,
yeah, what's your take?
Look, I rather trade for Tarasenko than trade for Patrick Kane.
I think we can all agree on that.
The fact that we got Mikkola in the trade as well, who won a gold medal with Kako at the World Championship, is a nice bonus. The fact that we got rid of Sammy Blais. Oh, my God. Sammy Blais. Look, nothing against Sammy Blais, but 54 games, 0 goals. No forward has played more games without ever scoring a goal for the Rangers. So
Wow. I remember Darryl Powell. He had a pretty good streak too.
Yeah, he only had 35 or so games.
Okay.
The previous record was 48 by Hib Milks in 1931-32. So.
I love that name. That name is hysterical.
What was the name? Oh, Hib Milks. Okay.
Hib Milks. Yeah. Wow. But look, Blais going back to St. Louis. I mean, I wish him all the best, but Drury did an amazing job.
Now, I want to know what happened to Hib Milks, because this guy was a scorer with the Philadelphia Quakers before he came to New York.
Well,
and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
He aged like Milks, Jim.
Like apparently he left the Philadelphia Quakers and never scored another goal in his career, because then he went to Ottawa and played 16 games for them and didn't score.
Wow.
Yeah. I remember Sam interviewing Hib Milks.
Spoiled milk.
Spoiled milk.
Oh, Joe, Milks just can't buy a goal, Joe.
Wow.
No, but look, you got Tarasenko, you got Mikkola on the third pair now, replacing Harper, who's good as a seventh defenseman, but Mikkola
serviceable.
Serviceable as a spare. Mikkola is a good defenseman to have on next to Schneider. So, and you give up the later of the 2 first-round picks we have, a 4th-round pick that nobody gives a shit about. It's going to be a 30 who make the playoffs, so let's say a 3rd. And then Hunter Skinner, whose claim to fame is that he shares the last name with Jeff.
Yeah, I saw him a couple times in Hartford. I was just like, I didn't see.
Yeah, look, nothing against Hunter Skinner, but he's a right-handed defenseman. He's behind Fox, Trouba, Schneider, and now Brandon Scanlon is playing him out of the lineup. He spent time in the ECHL this season. Once a skater goes to the ECHL, it's pretty much done for the NHL aspirations. For a goalie, maybe they can still make it to the NHL, but as a defenseman, when you go to the ECHL, that's pretty much it. So he was just a body going the other way, so they don't go over the 50, the 48 or 49 or 50 player limit, and they can still make a trade before the deadline. And
do you think did you think the St. Louis GM pulled the trigger too early, or do you think?
Well, Tarasenko had a no trade clause, and he only wanted to wait for the Rangers, so it's not like he really had a choice.
Right. I heard there was 3 teams, but that was never confirmed that he was thinking about going.
Yeah.
But
he waited for the Rangers, and the trade was done within minutes. So
maybe he's a big Fish fan.
Sorry?
Maybe he's a big Fish fan. He wanted to play at the Garden.
Maybe. But look, Hayek on waivers is also a good development. So, yeah, we're finally moving on from the 2 worst trades in the last decade.
Yeah. Well, you got the actually, what trade are you referring to?
The McDonough trade and the Buchnevich trade.
Yeah, the Buchnevich trade still hurts. The McDonough trade, Hayek was the key component, right? Wasn't he the?
He was the guy they wanted.
He was the guy
they had to have. He had to be in the deal.
Yeah, they traded Howden for a 4th-round pick to Vegas. They traded Lundqvist, who they drafted with that 1st-round pick, to Dallas for a 1st. Nemesnikov was traded for a 4th that they used on Nick Ebert, who's no longer with the organization. So, yeah, the only thing we have left is Carl Henriksen.
Wow. He seems to be in the mix every year, but never really makes the team. I always see him. But do you foresee any of the Rangers maybe moving some of their higher-end prospects, such as Zach Jones or anything like that?
Probably not at the deadline, because that's not the type of trade that you give up your top prospects for. But I think in the summer, that's definitely a trade that could happen. Zach Jones, with how things have been going for him, he or Robertson has to go, because you're not going to keep 2 of them. Right. Maybe one can make the team, and Robertson is the bigger guy, and the Rangers seem to favor that on defense. So over the summer, trading Zach Jones would make sense if you do it for a guy that still has some years of control left. So you're looking at a guy who's like 22, 23 years old. But for a guy that's only under contract for a couple more months, like Tarasenko, you're not giving up a guy like Zach Jones or Kravtsov. And honestly, if Kravtsov is still on the team on opening night next season, I don't think Gallant's going to be behind the bench.
Right, because it's obvious that Gerard Gallant does not like this guy.
Because and if Drury is not trading Kravtsov, then he's essentially picking Kravtsov's side in the whole situation.
Now, you followed Vitali pretty much from the get-go.
Yeah, look, I mean, he's probably one of the more polarizing players on the team in terms of how the fan base sees him. You know, you have fans who really want to see him do well, and other fans who have pretty much given up on him because of how he reacted a couple of years ago when he was demoted. I can understand that. I can understand those feelings, but ultimately I want what's best for the team. And if that means Kravtsov plays on the 3rd line or 4th line, then do it.
Well, I think it's a great opportunity for him to play now, get some time to at least be showcased, to be traded, and his value is nothing now. I mean,
no. And so if your value is at an all-time low, why would your general manager trade you away? You know, they already gave up Elias Anderson for a late second-round pick, which they lucked into Will Cooley with that pick. So it's not a total loss, but still, you get a guy 7th overall and you trade him for pick number, what was it, 60 or 61? That's not really a good return on investment. Do they really want to go? Do they really want to do the same thing with Kravtsov? No. They probably just want to see if his value can go up. And yeah, he could still be traded, but you're not going to trade a player like that at the deadline for a rental. I think those times are over. Look at the Islanders. They trade Aatu and Beauvillier in a first for a guy that, yes, was a pending free agent, but they signed him to an 8-year extension right away.
Right.
That justifies giving up those more expensive assets.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I definitely can agree with that. I think that's good. That's good thinking, Abe Lincoln.
Speaking of Abe Lincoln, I was in Columbus a couple of weeks ago for the Ranger game, and I actually got a Civil War hat.
That's a sore subject with Jim.
But it's really cool. They have the cannon. We were sitting right next to the cannon, so we got to observe the people.
I've been there. Did you find that rink very steep? Kind of a.
Yeah. But what my biggest takeaway from going to the game there is how cheap it is. We had 2 large beers, a plate of chicken tenders, and large fries for $26.
Wow! Holy moly!
To me, that's the most interesting thing. And my fiance got a box of Timbits because they have a Tim Hortons in the arena for $2.50 at a hockey game. So no, it was decent. The prices were decent. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
That's why there's always so many Ranger fans at those games.
Yeah, and Columbus itself is nothing. I mean, it was so quiet. I was looking for tumbleweeds, rolling through the streets.
Well, they used to have like a beer garden down there, and
yeah.
It's probably not open now. But
the first months of the season, Columbus is usually like booming because college football with Ohio State, that draws in a lot of people. But once college football season's over, it's a ghost town.
Yes.
Right.
So,
all right.
But
Steve, thanks for checking in, man.
Go to bed.
He's in the back there.
Go to bed.
Yeah. I should go to bed. It's 1 a.m. When I was living in Vienna, it would have been 2 a.m. So it's not terrible.
You got an hour break.
But exactly. So let's hope Drury does something more because. I think solidifying the team with a fourth liner. We saw that last year, right? Gauthier and Hunt were out of the lineup once we got Vetrano, Mott, and Kopp. So I think one more move for like a 3rd or 4th round pick is what we'll see. But we still have a couple of weeks to go. So.
Well, take care and say hello to your fiance for us.
Say hello to Catherine for us.
The great Catherine Aluzzi.
I will.
We'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Take care, my friend.
Bye.
Wunderbar.
We've said it all.
Stat Boy Steven
joins the
show.
We had a nice crowd tonight.
Yeah, thank you all for coming out.
Yes. Somebody's watching us on Twitch.
Good.
I like that I can see the numbers. I can look right at the live numbers and see who's watching us on every platform. I like that.
I hope every audience grows and grows. And
absolutely.
We become a juggernaut because we all deserve it. Let's face it. Where else are you going to see me strutting around because I was actually right on something? Where I can't even find it now.
Your hat,
my hat,
the music.
Yeah, come on.
This show it's just not like the others.
You'll see it when I put the video together. I asked Don Cardoza. I kind of like interview him. I said, "What appeals to you about the Blueshirt Underground? What And he says, "I see." I said, "What appeals to you about the Underground?" He says, "Because you just don't take everything serious. You find the humor in things." And I think as a Ranger fan, I think that's inbred in most of us older Ranger fans. And I think some of the younger fans too. Oh God, that uncomfortable pair of nitwits.
That's all I gotta do.
They cannot get any banter whatsoever together. Oh, Sam, I don't know. You know, Joe was starting with Sam last night a couple times.
He was tweaking him.
Yeah, he was. And Sam, of course, had no response.
Right.
And before we wrap this show up, I think I might have the answer to Sam Rosen's hair. Now, you would probably say, Ed, he should just shave it. No, I don't even want to see that. Maybe a nice hat, a fedora.
Fedora? How about a beret?
A beret. Now, anybody with some Photoshop skills, please.
How about a Kangol?
Yeah, a Kangol like Samuel Jackson or one of those guys.
Right, backwards.
Backwards.
Right.
I think there should be a photo submission contest. Photoshop it. A top hat. That's a good one, too.
Like Nick DeCristo wears.
Yeah, like that. Like a stovepipe hat.
Or a pork pie hat. Like
pork
like
pie
Rocky
hat
wore.
works. I think that's the answer. So I don't have to look at that disgusting whatever it is.
What if every night, every game, he wears a different hat and the fans can vote on the hat?
Or he could shave his head and then he could wear one of those little hats like that guy in Living Color did when they hated it. Remember they used to wear the hats?
Yes.
Men on movies or whatever it was.
Yes.
Hated it. Like one of his little hat, tiny hats. Different hat every game. I think that's.
I was going to wrap up, but Josh Gimbel just popped up. You want to say hi to Josh?
Sure, quickly.
Before we go? All right. I told Jen, we'll probably do a half-hour show. Now we're going on an hour and 20 minutes.
Josh,
what's up,
congratulations to you and your wife. You've been together, 30 years now?
30.
Sounds about right.
Can't hear you, buddy. Can't hear you.
Oh, my God. Huh. I'll tell you, these fans, he's gone.
He's got he must not, I don't know, maybe he didn't authorize his microphone when he came in. I don't know. We'll give it a minute, and if he doesn't pop back in, we'll talk to him next time.
What's called number 2?
Damn, I done muted the call.
I don't know what the hell is going on here. But I think the hat, an Uncle Sam hat, that would be a good one, Mary.
Uncle Sam.
I want you. You have him pointing out like that. I think that's Sam's new gig. Update your browser settings.
Try, if you're on an Apple phone, try Safari browser. If you're on an Android, try your Chrome browser.
What browsers?
Right. Maybe I'm only part browser. What do browsers look like?
That's a good one.
All right. Figure it out for next time.
Okay.
I hope to see the new players tomorrow, God of Cable. Doing it through the Facebook app.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know there was such a thing. You mean is there a restream? The restream app? I don't know. You're just supposed to paste the link into your browser, and then you authorize.
Can I ask you a question about our background here, or our overlay, or whatever they're calling this?
You can sure.
You see the Liberty jersey down here in the bottom?
I do.
Right next to it. Was that ever an official shield?
The one to the right of the Liberty?
The right.
Those were on the shoulders of the Liberty jersey.
Oh, okay.
That was the shoulder patch.
Ah, nice. All right.
And the one to the left of the Liberty, the lighter blue, that was the actual crest on the pajama jerseys.
Ooh.
If you look, it's a more rounded bottom to it. Rounded
yes,
bottom. We do enjoy. Speaking of Jen, she's waiting for me, so I'm going upstairs.
That's right.
Boots
Brett,
on
you
the
gonna be
ground in
there?
Raleigh. All right, Brett Anderson. Want a full report?
I'll be there. Well, not for the next game, but I'll be there on the
Right.
23rd, March 23rd, the second half of a Carolina home and home. Yes, you're right. The retro nightmare, as Mario calls it. All right, guys. Well, soup is on. That's what I said the last game. I smell soup. I gotta go. I think it's a banner day for the New York Rangers. I think a great deal, and nobody should be a negative Nelly on this. This is a win-win. You know,
I think so.
You want your GM to go for it, and he went for it.
The Vladmir Tarasenko era hopefully begins tomorrow night or Saturday, I guess.
Yes.
Big game tomorrow night against the Seattle Kraken, Sam. They work hard, Sam.
Yeah, they got
move
shut
their
up,
feet.
Sam.
They moved their feet.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's go. And again,
right.
we got to march on. We got to march forward.
Absolutely. Thank you, everybody, for being here. We appreciate it. Short notice, and you showed up in droves. We love every goddamn one of you.
That's right.
And don't forget, the viewing party is 4 weeks from Saturday at McHale's in New York City. Rangers taking on Buffalo. We'll see you soon. Eddie, always a pleasure. Thank you for agreeing to do this on short notice. I appreciate it.
Yes. Let's go, Rangers.
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.